On this edition of Mocs News, Chattanooga is set to have a presidential visit.
We take a look at a campaign to help spread the word to end the use of the R word.
And we will recap homecoming. I'm Bailey Murphy.
And I'm Heidi Brightman. Your news starts now.
The President of the United States is coming to UTC's campus to campaign for the midterm elections. It's a big push by Trump for the Marsha Blackburn campaign for the U.S. Senate in Tennessee. Trump is set to come to UTC's McKenzie Arena on Sunday at 7 in the evening after making a stop in Macon, Georgia. Blackburn is set to make an appearance for the Chattanooga rally. Protests are expected to occur before and during the rally. One such protester, Alan DeBerry, has already started on Wednesday afternoon.
Like, this kind of just gets the point across. I'm not trying to disrespect him or any of that stuff, but it's literally just saying this. The protest that back in last year in Nashville is crazy. It was thousands in Nashville with people with that hat on. I was walking up and down the line, and people were saying that they liked my sign. And these are people who support Trump. But that's because this sign is straight up. I'm not saying, oh, this, and that, oh, you blah, 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 cussing and all that stuff, Trump, all that. It's like not necessary. You're not gonna reach the people who aren't on your side if you don't know how to just be neutral.
UTC is aware of the planned protests and are prepared for them. We will have complete coverage on Mocs News.
Meanwhile, another person appeared on campus, but this wasn't a protester about the Trump visit. Maria appeared in front of McKenzie Arena in witch's gear to appeal for voters to go to the polls. Remember, the elections are this coming Tuesday. Make sure you vote.
The Disability Resource Center promotes the national campaign for Spread the Word to End the Word. This national campaign helps shed a light on the stigmas and stereotypes people face with disabilities. Students gathered at Heritage Plaza to begin the accessibility route many students with disabilities face every day. On the walk, students could see posters of well-known figures who were able to overcome these same challenges. The event also encouraged all to be mindful of the language they choose to use and avoid derogatory words like the R word.
They're talking to their friends and they mean you're being silly, you're being crazy, or whatever, and they'll throw out the R word. And for people like myself that actually have disabilities, whether that is visible or invisible, it's derogatory towards us because they're using it in a negative context to put someone down, and that in turn means that you're putting down people with disabilities when we're just as capable as anyone else on campus.
At the end of the event, students were able to sign a banner pledging to use People First language and start a more accepting and respectful community for all. You can learn more about this campaign at the Disability Resource Center.
To change the subject to something a little lighter, UTC students got to celebrate the dead with Ola. Our Troy Nelson has the story.
Dancing, food, and a night full of celebration. UTC students gathered in the Multicultural Center Thursday night to commemorate the Day of the Dead. Observed every October 31st to November 2nd, Dia de Muertos is a celebration of those who have passed away, as Ola treasurer Miguel Mariscal explains.
On Day of the Dead, it's time for family members to go to the graveyards, play their lost one's favorite music, have their favorite food, laugh, have a good time. So it's just mainly bringing light on what usually is a grim situation.
The event, hosted by Hispanic Outreach Leadership Association, the Center for Global Education, and the Multicultural Affairs Office, allowed students to get their faces painted, watch live musical performances, and compete in different activities. UTC grad student Carlos Rodriguez was extremely satisfied with the event.
To be honest, I feel like very happy and proud about it because this is a big deal in Mexico, and to have this kind of holiday or celebration abroad, it's like you live it like with a different feeling.
If you would like to get involved with OLA, it meets every Monday at 5 p.m. in the University Center's Heritage Room. All students are welcome to join. Troy Nelson, Mocs News.
You can help prevent terrorism. You just need to be aware. Dr. Bruce Huffman is a nationally recognized expert on how ISIS and Al-Qaeda are using social media to rebuild. The Georgetown University professor gave a lecture on our campus this week, and he said if you see something, say something.
Right, so the question is, how can the community be better prepared or assisted in being part of counterterrorism? And here I think, especially around Washington, D.C. and inside the Beltway, there's always signs on the highway that says, see something, say something. But it's also a do something. And I think it's instructing people, teaching them how to intervene, who to go to, how to recognize the signs. I mean, just as we recognize the signs of people perhaps suffering from mental health maladies or the signs of abuse in the home, for example, spousal abuse or children abuse, and that you have to intervene to assist people. It's the same thing with preventing mass shootings or preventing terrorism. It's not, becoming paranoid or turning the United States into a police state, but it's realizing that it's up to communities to protect themselves.
We wrapped homecoming this week on campus in a big way. Ariel Ayers was elected homecoming queen, while Juwan Lewis won top mock for public service. Connor Rietveld and Alexis Hurley were the winners. Congratulations to all on their big wins.
The UTC Police Department is investigating a report of a stolen vehicle on campus. The 2000 GMC Yukon Denali was taken sometime between 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, October 28th, and 10 o'clock a.m. on Monday, October 29th. The Yukon was last seen in Lot 17, and if you have any information, please contact UTC Police at 423-425-4357.
It's been a wet week, Bailey.
It sure has been, Heidi. Let's go to our Brandon Robinson to see what the weather has in store.
Thanks, anchors. Things look to dry out for the weekend, with today being cloudy with a high of 55 and a low of 40. For Saturday, sunshine returns with a high of 61 and a low of 41. For Sunday, we will see partly cloudy skies with a high of 65 and a low of 53. However, rain returns for Monday and Tuesday with highs in the low 70s and lows in the low 60s. But have no fear, because things will brighten back up towards the end of the week. That's it for weather. Back to the news desk. Gosh.
Last week's homecoming game was almost as good as the tailgating.
That's right. And our Joseph Dykes has all of the football news and more in this week's edition of the sports section.
Thanks, anchors. This past Saturday, your Chattanooga Mocs matched up against Virginia Military Institute, and our Bailey Biddle has a story.
We all want to say thanks to T.O. for allowing us to join in your special day, and we are proud to have you back again for the homecoming festivities.
It was not the way the Mocs planned to start their homecoming game with VMI, with the Keydets taking a commanding lead in the first quarter. It looked like the Mocs may be on upset alert. VMI looked virtually unstoppable in the first quarter, lighting up the Mocs secondary with short intermediate routes, shredding their zone defense. Then UTC tightened up their defense and their offense started to click when the Mocs coaching staff made committing to the run a focal point. By halftime, the Mocs tied it up to even out the score 21-21. After halftime, it looked as if a fire was lit under the Mocs football players. They scored first and never looked back with a total of 101 rushing yards and 285 passing yards to end the game. The Mocs won with a final score of 34-27. The Chattanooga Mocs have won 2 games in a row and want to continue their winning streak on the road against Furman this Saturday, November 3rd. Furman is 3-4, and the Mocs should be favored on the road. Kickoff is at 1 Eastern Time. With Mocs News, this is Bailey Biddle.
It's been gone for a while, but basketball season is finally back, and our Madison Tune has the story.
It wasn't pretty, but the Mocs narrowly won their exhibition game 62-60 over Lee University. Freshman point guard Donovan Totley paced the team with 14 points and hit the game-winning shot. Another highly anticipated newcomer, Kevin Easley, chipped in 10 points and 6 rebounds. The Mocs started slowly and missed several easy shots in the post, but improved their finishing in the second half. The Mocs tip off their regular season on Tuesday in Charlotte. With Mocs News, this has been Madison Toon. Now back to the studio.
Women's cross country continued its successful season, jumped to 13th in the region poll this week. The Mocs got in second place on the SoCon Championships last Saturday, with all 5 runners scoring in the top 30. Emily Poole and Mackenzie Jones earned all conference honors, and UTC will run on November 9th in Tallahassee, Florida. To end this, despite the bad weather, the Mocs tennis team came out of the Steve Bears invite with an impressive record. The Mocs dominated the first 2 days, and on the final day of the tournament, the Mocs finished with an 8-6 record in single matches and a 5-2 record in doubles matches. This wraps up their fall season. But you know what? You can follow up on your Mocs at GoMocs.com. That'll do it for this week in sports. Now back to the news desk.
Students got to watch some horror movies made by students. Our Brandon Robinson has the story.
Professor Dr. Ethan Mills hosted Horrific Thoughts, a Halloween philosophical film fest, Tuesday in Derthick Hall. Mills had students from his popular culture, religion, and philosophy class create and present short horror films that were critiqued by a panel of judges.
So what I'm hoping they take away is one of the themes of the course is looking for philosophical content in horror films and fiction. So I hope they can do that, but also to maybe through this project in particular, learn a little bit about maybe doing philosophy through the medium of film.
Refreshments were provided and 4 awards were presented, first through third place as well as audience choice. Audience choice was a 3-way tie between Party Killer, Hi Justin, and Cold Shit. Cold Shit also won third place. Second place went to the film To Stay, and first place went to the film Both Light and Darkness Are Blinding. For questions or links to the films, contact Dr. Ethan Mills at ethan-mills@utc.edu.
Chattanooga was buzzed with all the Halloween activities this past weekend.
That's right, and our Carlton Smith took part in one of Halloween's favorite traditions.
Halloween may be over, but one organization looks to scare up some wishes.
The American Institute of Graphic Arts, or AIGA, is the oldest and largest platform for designers and creatives. AIGA partnered with Make-A-Wish East Tennessee for Chattanooga's first Guts pumpkin carving contest. But what is Guts?
Guts actually started with AIGA Charlotte. It was paired with a local agency crafted that kind of put on the first Guts benefit that always does like a Make-A-Wish chapter. So basically a local AIGA chapter partners with their local Make-A-Wish chapter, and we basically go and we invite creatives to come and carve pumpkins for us live. People are able to look at the carvings, they're able to bid on the carvings in order to raise money for Make-A-Wish, and for us it's Make-A-Wish East Tennessee.
The competition was broken into 2 categories, individual and team carving contests. The winner of the team carving contest was Lodge Cast Iron Skillet, who made a series of Nightmare Before Christmas pumpkins. The individual winner was yours truly, with a Bob's Burgers themed pumpkin. Winners received bragging rights and the great feeling of helping a great charity.
I love the fact that Chattanooga has such a big heart, and they're so able to help us raise money for the kiddos, the brave kiddos at Make-A-Wish, and hopefully it'll help kind of grant a wish.
AIGA is aiming to do the Guts pumpkin carving contest again next year, so if you want to have some fun and raise some money for a great cause, start practicing now. For Mocs News, I'm Carlton Smith.
And that does it for this edition of Mocs News. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to check out our website, mocsnews.com, to continue following the news throughout the week.
And while you are there, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend from all of us here at Mocs News.